Have you ever felt like you are literally fighting yourself to make a change? You know you're putting in all the work, all the effort, but you keep ending up right back where you started. Well, today we're going to dive into a concept that completely flips the script on personal change. We are not talking about trying harder. We're talking about a fundamental shift in who you are. And this is the central paradox we're going to unpack. I know, it sounds completely backward, right? But that very act of trying is often the anchor holding you in place. The brute force of willpower we think we need is often the exact thing preventing the transformation we want. So we're going to explore why this happens, and more importantly, how to finally break that cycle.
Okay, think about it. If you've ever started a new habit, a new diet, a workout plan, a productivity system, and you felt like an imposter in your own life, you know exactly what I'm talking about. It's that nagging voice that says you're just playing a role, that this new you is just a costume. Well, that feeling, it is not just in your head. It's a real biological response, and it's the hidden reason most self-improvement just flat out fails.
So, here's our roadmap for today. We're going to start with the problem, what I call the weight of acting, and something called the thermostat effect. Then we'll get to the solution, the identity flip protocol, the actual biology of belief behind it, a 24-hour reset you can use today, and the main takeaway? Flip the noun.
All right, let's start by diagnosing the real problem. We've all heard the advice, fake it till you make it. But here's the thing, that approach has a massive hidden cost. It's the reason you feel so exhausted trying to build a new life on top of an old self. You're not lazy, you're just carrying an impossible weight.
And this brings us to a really key concept, being metabolically expensive. Now this isn't some fancy metaphor, it's real. When your actions are in conflict with your core identity, your brain has to work overtime. It's like it's running two different operating systems at the same time. That conflict burns actual physical energy, leaving you drained and making those new behaviors basically impossible to sustain.
And this slide just illustrates that internal battle perfectly. When you try to act like a fit person, but your deep down self-image says you're out of shape, your brain is constantly fact-checking that. It flags a discrepancy. When you act like a leader, but feel like a follower, your nervous system goes on high alert. You literally become an undercover agent in your own life, always afraid your own brain is going to expose you as a fraud and snap you back to your old ways.
So here's the crucial reframing you have to make. You're not fighting a habit, you're fighting a blueprint. You're trying to build a mansion on the foundation of a shack, and that structure, it is always going to collapse. To build something new that lasts, you have to change the blueprint first.
So, what is this mechanism that is actively sabotaging your progress? Well, it's a phenomenon called the thermostat effect. It's that invisible wall you hit right when you start to succeed. It's the reason progress so often feels like one step forward, two steps back.
So your brain has a set point for how much success or health or happiness it thinks you deserve. And just like the thermostat in your house keeps the room at a set temperature, your brain works tirelessly to maintain your identity. So when you achieve something that goes too far beyond that set point, this neural self-correction system kicks in to pull you back to what it considers normal.
Think about it like this. If your internal thermostat is set to "I am a procrastinator," what do you think happens when you have an amazing week of productivity? Your brain senses that the temperature is way too high, so it triggers a correction, that overwhelming urge to self-sabotage, to skip the next task, anything to bring you back down to the familiar temperature of procrastination. This isn't a moral failing on your part, it's a systemic neural correction. And this is exactly what it feels like in real life, what I call the rubber band effect. You stretch, you make progress, but then, snap, the band just pulls you right back. You hit a new peak in your career and bam, you're hit with post-win anxiety, feeling like you don't deserve it. You stick to your diet for a whole week and then suddenly you're binging for no reason. It's that classic feeling that the other shoe is about to drop, because in your brain's blueprint, this new level of success is just an error that needs to be fixed. Okay, so we've clearly defined the problem. Now how do we fix it? Well, we don't fight the system, we give it a new set point. This is the identity flip protocol. Think of it like an operating system update for your life. We're not just closing a buggy program, we are installing a new high-performance OS from the ground up.
And this protocol has three core components. First, categorical relabeling. Second, clinical evidence logging. And third, identity-first filtering. Let's break down exactly what each one of these means.
The first step, categorical relabeling, is the absolute heart of this entire system. Just look at the difference here. On the left, you've got verbs, trying to focus, trying to quit. A verb is an action. It's a struggle. It's a battle of will. And as we know, it's metabolically expensive. But on the right, you have nouns. I am a focused person. I am a non-smoker. A noun isn't an action, it's a state of being. It's a statement of fact. It's who you are, not what you're trying to do.
And this is the powerful shift that happens. When you adopt the noun, your actions move from a state of exertion to a state of expression. A focused person doesn't try to focus, they just focus. It's what they do. A non-smoker doesn't fight the urge to smoke. The thought barely even registers. The work becomes effortless because it's simply an expression of who you are.
So, why is this so incredibly effective? Well, it's not just a mind trick, it is deeply rooted in neurobiology. When you flip the noun, you literally change how your brain processes your actions, creating a path of zero friction for your new behaviors to thrive.
Let's just look at the neural contrast here. That verb state of trying, it activates your Anterior Cingulate Cortex, or ACC. That's your brain's conflict detector. This has a high metabolic cost and feels like you're fighting yourself. But the noun state, it activates the Medial Prefrontal Cortex, or MPFC, the part of your brain that's linked to your self-identity. And this state has zero metabolic cost. It feels like just being yourself. You're no longer fighting your brain, you're finally working with it.
This captures the transformation perfectly. You stop being the struggling actor, playing a part you don't even believe in. Instead, you become the lead character in a new reality that you are actively creating. Your actions become authentic, and your performance becomes effortless. Okay, let's move from theory to practice. You can start this today, right now. Here's how to perform an identity audit and reset your system within the next 24 hours, starting with your very next challenge. It's a really simple three-step process. First, identify the failure. The next time you fail at something, don't look for a better plan, find a new noun. So instead of, I need to be more productive, decide, I am a professional finisher. Second, execute the evidence log. Find 3 tiny, almost insignificant proofs from your day that this new noun is real. Did you finish your coffee? Did you send that one email? Log it as evidence. And third, use the identity filter. When you feel resistance, just ask yourself, what would a professional finisher do right now?
And here's a really critical principle for this to work. At the beginning, don't focus on massive results. Focus on the velocity of being the new noun. Your goal isn't a high volume of work, it's a high velocity of evidence. You just want to gather as many small data points as you can to prove to your brain that this new identity is real. The big results will follow once the identity is locked in.
So, let's bring this all together. The entire secret to effortless, sustainable change really boils down to this one action. It's not about changing a million different behaviors. It's about making one singular, powerful change at the deepest level of who you are. This right here is the core takeaway of everything we've talked about. We spend so much time and energy trying to fix our behaviors, the symptoms, procrastination, unhealthy eating, lack of focus. But these are all just surface-level effects. The root cause is always identity. You simply cannot outperform your self-image. To change the behavior for good, you have to change the identity that's causing it. So here's the final thought I want to leave you with. Greatness isn't earned through a million painful steps. It's claimed in a single moment of internal decision. When you change the noun from I'm trying to I am, you don't just change a habit, you change the person who is living your life. So the question is, what is the one noun you need to flip today?